Greetings to all of humanity. It's really a joy, it's a pleasure, it's an honor to be out here as usual in nature and greeting you, bringing this message of emancipation to you, where I'm pointing you to look inwardly, to discover your identity to be your divinity. Now, I want to speak to you today on a very important topic. And, you know, these days many people tend to say that they don't want a song too religious, but don't get checked with those who normally say that they don't want a song too religious. They are saying that because they don't want you to know what they are speaking about. It is basically hidden in the Bible and they're just taking it from a different angle, because the Bible was used to keep the masses in mental slavery. I want to say it was used to keep the masses in mental slavery is because it was misinterpreted to them, or it was interpreted to them in a way to keep them in mental slavery. That's the reason why today I want to speak to you concerning the secret behind the crucifixion, or the secret of the crucifixion, what it is really all about. But before I go any further into that topic, let me share with you the basis of my teachings. Now, the basis of my teachings is that the Bible addresses the human mind and must be interpreted psychologically. That the Bible is not literal, neither is the Bible secular history. For the Bible was written symbolically. And from Genesis 1 to Revelation 22 have to do with the human psyche. It's a great psychological drama. So, what I'm really saying to you in a nutshell is that the Bible is not a religious book. It's a book of mind science. I'm going to show you how to understand the crucifixion to be your own biography. And how when you come to your higher self, which is your Christ self, which is the highest state of consciousness, that you would realize the true crucifixion. And you would realize that I'm speaking the truth when I say to you that this body is the cross on which we all would die. Now when it comes to the crucifixion, I want to speak mainly on the nails in his feet and in his hands, and the crown of thorn upon his head, and the piercing of the side. So I'm going to use those symbols. Those symbols are what I want to break down for you and explain to you. Now, I want to start with the feet and showing you that you are the traveler, or the go-getter. And it is your feet you use to move from one point to the next point. And the final frontier of transportation is actually translation. So when they show you the piercing of the feet, the first thing you have to come to realize is that those who was piercing the feet were the religious ones and the politicians. So it's showing you when you come to your Christ, you will realize that it is religion and politics that is nailing the Christ on an idol. And that idol is a power or a savior that they give to you outside of yourself. It is an image that they create in your mind. So many people get checked when they see the Catholics bowing down before what seems to be image to them. But the real image that each and everyone bowing to is the idol that they hold in their mind. Like the Jesus idol that they hold in their mind. And believe that there was a literal man 2,000 years ago who was crucified. No, it is you. It is your higher self that they are keeping stagnated. They are keeping bound. Now, so they are keeping your feet bound. So you wouldn't know how to walk this journey of life from humanity to divinity. And your hand is the hand of the doer. That's what you get things done with. And your fingers are used to connect certain parts of your body. Because your body is like a whole machine. So basically, for example, if you turn your palms down, it would accompany your breathing, whether you breathe from down here or up here. When you turn your palms up, it will decide whether you breathe from up here or down here. So it's a whole mechanism. So when it tells you of the nailing of the hands, they have used the educational system to keep your hands bound. So you would not become the doer or the builder. They have used the political system and the religious system to keep your hands bound. So you can build yourself. So you can uplift yourself. So you can do the things that you're supposed to do to bring value to humanity. Then it tells you that there was a crown of thorns upon his head. Here is where the commander resides, in the command center. And the commander in the command center is invisible. So the crown of thorns is all of the burdens and the lies that they fed you with to control your mind. So they're piercing your mind with the wrong things from the time you leave your mother's womb. Even the light in the hospital that the child have to come out and behold for the very first time is a part of keeping that child mentally retarded. All of that is in the programming. It's about controlling your mind. That's what the crown of thorns is all about. Controlling your mind, controlling your thinking. So they know what to download your subconscious mind with. And I'm speaking from example. I'm speaking from experience, because where I'm living in the Caribbean, it's big programming in the school system. The children have to sing Jesus songs every morning. They have to say prayers every afternoon before lunch, and then after lunch when they go back in, they have to say prayers again, and they have to always say that in the name of Jesus Christ. They always have to do that. Worshipping and praising an idol and giving homage to the high state of consciousness to an idol. So they will never be able to believe in themselves. They'll never be able to lift up their self-esteem. Because it would be very hard for them to ever come to realize who they are. And then in the evening before they go home, they have to sing, they have to say prayers also. You know, many times my heart is moved when I hear the children singing all of these Jesus songs, and the teachers doesn't know better. The parents doesn't know better. And you know, if the blind lead the blind, what's going to happen? They are going to fall over a ditch. And then they tell you, the heart of the Christ was pierced. Your heart is the seat of your emotion. And emotion is energy in motion. And they tell you, when the side was pierced, blood and water flow out. That is what constitutes a birth. Blood and water. A woman water back have to burst. Then she have to pass blood. Then the birth of the child. And even before that, she Red Sea have to be stopped. When she become pregnant, they stop her Red Sea is stopped because she got struck with the rod. Because Moses meant to be born. And so they keep the Christ in the realm of the birth of water and blood, which is the physical realm. So they keep you bound in the physical realm. So when they show you that the Christ, his feet was pierced, his hands was pierced, he was wearing a crown of thorn, and then his side was pierced. It's you. It's your higher self. That's why many people do not realize that it is their own thoughts that is creating their reality, and that they can create their reality consciously. So what they do, they waste their emotion ignorantly. They use their emotion ignorantly, and they use their emotion for all the wrong things. Like the news and the TV. And a white cop shooting a black man. I don't get caught up in those kind of foolishness. And then people demonstrating and saying things like Black Lives Matter and all of these foolishness. And they get distracted. Instead of they be the ones who are seated at the right hand of the Father, which is the place of authority and dominion and power. They are giving away the power by getting caught up with propaganda. So my brothers and my sisters, it is the religious system and the political system and the educational system that is coming together to crucify your Christ self, to keep you bound in mediocrity, to give you a false self of being and a false self, a false sense of knowing, keeping you in intellectualism. You know what the biggest problem I normally have with people is that they believe what they read in a book or what they hear someone else say, that is the real knowing. And when you meet people like that, they're always telling you, go Google this, go Google that. Do you realize in this world that we are living, they're bringing the people mentality to become a Google brain mentality, you know? People no longer depend on having experiences. Why? Because we live in a world of so much information. Therefore, it is more crucifixion. And people allowing themselves to be deceived with every wind of doctrine. But my brothers and my sisters, my doctrine is self-realization. My doctrine is pointing you to look within, to discover your higher self. My doctrine teaches you that the Bible is your own biography. My doctrine teaches you that the Bible addresses the human mind and must be interpreted psychologically. And that it is your thoughts that's creating your personality. And that you are responsible for your thoughts. Because it is your thoughts, as I said before, that is creating your reality, and you're the Lord and Master of your own destiny. So my brothers and my sisters, that is the secret behind the crucifixion. It is putting you in a place of stagnation, so that you will never discover your higher self, your God self, your creative self. But my brothers and my sisters, there's a man here who can turn on the light. There's a man here who have experienced his Christ self. And many are crucifying me for speaking the truth, that the Bible is your own biography. So with that being said, my brother and my sister, I believe I will have gotten my message across to you. And if this is the first time you are listening to me and what I'm saying, if it's making sense to you, I'm encouraging you, if you haven't subscribed already, to subscribe, to like, to comment, or to share this video. And to always remember that this message I bring to you, it is the single eye message of self-realization, of which Matthew 6:22 says, if your eye be single, your whole body will be full of light. My brother and my sisters, hadn't it been that I would have had that experience where I awake within myself like a fiery being, and that single eye also awake within me, and I come to realize what the Bible says, that you shall change from mortal to immortality in a twinkling of an eye, is the opening of an eye, whereby in Psalms 78:65 you say, and the Lord awakens us out of a great sleep. You are the one who would awake, and when you awake, you will ascend as the fiery being and exit your skull and become invisible. Then you will know that you've been sent to tell the story of the invisible to the rest of humanity, because you fulfill also St. John chapter 3. And then you'll understand why I always give you the symbol of the single eye, and letting you know, don't let anyone deceive you, telling you that is an evil sign. This sign of the single eye, it will represent the all-seeing eye of the God within you, who is your own human imagination, the creator in man. For you will have an awakened imagination, and you'll come to realize that the imagination parallels the sun, and the sun parallels the human imagination. For without the sun, there is no life, and there is no light. And without the human imagination, there isn't anything made that was made. Therefore, my brother, my sisters, when you have this experience, you'll also realize that it is the rising of the S-U-N in a S-O-N, and that it is the dawning of a new day in your life. And you will understand why Psalms 84:11 says that the Lord thy God is a sun, as in a S-U-N, and a shield, and no good thing will he withhold from you. You'll realize that the sun never withhold its light, its radiance, everything. It never withhold it from you. And you come to realize what it says also in Malachi 4:2, that the sun of righteousness, as in the S-U-N, shall arise in you with healing in his wings. Therefore, my brother, my sister, it is healing that I'm bringing to you in every area of your life. Therefore, I encourage you at all times to use your mind power, which is your sun power, your solar power, your creative power, your God power, to achieve your every desire. So with that being said, I want to say peace, love you all, I'm out.